Welcome to a new episode of Subcast. We've been looking at some really interesting material lately, a couple of articles talking about this idea of visual chaos popping up again in graphic design. And there was this fascinating case study, too, about a brand that, well, really went for it with some disruptive visuals in their latest campaign.
Yeah, I saw that. Pretty bold stuff.
It definitely got us thinking here at Subsign. You know, minimalism has had such a long run.
Oh, yeah. Decades, really.
Are we maybe on the edge of a bigger visual shift, especially in marketing?
It's a really good question. I mean, minimalism works, right? It's clear. It's simple. Those qualities aren't going away.
True. They're timeless.
But when everything starts to look the same, that minimalist landscape gets pretty crowded.
Right.
So could embracing something a bit more chaotic visually be the way to actually cut through all that noise? This whole tension, order versus chaos in design, it's been simmering since like the 90s when digital tools made design more accessible.
Yeah, the democratization you mentioned.
Exactly. And it kind of feels like that pendulum might be starting to swing back again.
Okay, so that's really the core of our deep dive today then. First, why are we seeing this potential comeback of more complex, maybe even chaotic styles? And second, maybe more importantly for anyone listening who's involved in marketing, why should we even be paying attention to this? Is it relevant?
Definitely relevant to explore. And to really get it, it helps to look back a little. This isn't coming out of nowhere.
Okay. History lesson time.
Sort of. Think about the early 20th century. You had movements like Dadaism, Surrealism.
Right. Challenging everything.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They were intentionally disruptive. They kicked against traditional ideas of what looked good or orderly in art. They loved the unexpected, the illogical.
So that spirit of breaking the rules.
Yeah, that spirit kind of laid the groundwork for some of what we might be seeing echoes of today.
That makes sense. A sort of rebellion against the norm. And you feel that spirit is relevant again because it's just so hard to get noticed now.
I think so, yeah. Then fast forward to the 80s and 90s, postmodernism came along and really poured fuel on that fire.
Ah, postmodernism. Rejecting the clean lines of modernism.
Totally. It was all about mixing styles, embracing complexity, eclecticism, even being intentionally messy sometimes, throwing different things together.
Okay, so that sets the stage nicely for someone like David Carson, right? In the 90s.
Perfect example. His work, especially with Raygun magazine, it was, revolutionary graphic design at the time.
He just threw out the rule book, didn't he?
Pretty much. I mean, text overlapping, tilted, sometimes barely readable, images distorted, layouts that felt jarring, almost chaotic, very experimental.
Yeah, I remember those layouts. They felt so different.
And what's really key there is how perfectly that whole aesthetic captured the feeling of the alternative music scene back then, grunge specifically.
Absolutely. It wasn't just random messiness. It felt like the music. That raw energy was such a strong match visually.
Precisely. And that's a huge point, I think. Even when design looks chaotic, there's usually an intent behind it. It's not just about making a mess.
It's a choice.
It's a deliberate choice to evoke a feeling, communicate something specific. So, okay, bringing it to today's marketing. When we talk visual chaos now, we mean consciously stepping away from those principles we usually hold dear, like, total simplicity, absolute clarity.
Got it. So it's embracing the complex, the maybe unpredictable, playing with typography, color, layouts, imagery in a less conventional way.
Exactly. Pushing boundaries.
Okay, so that's the what,
Right.
but the why. For brands, what's the actual benefit? Why would embracing a little visual chaos be a good move in marketing?
Well, probably the most obvious potential benefit, and those articles we looked at hit this hard, is just pure attention-grabbing power.
Cutting through the noise, like you said.
Right. In a world saturated with visuals, something unexpected, something dynamic, it can really jolt people out of that, visual fatigue.
Makes sense. Stop the scroll, basically.
Yeah. And these kinds of designs, they can hit you emotionally, stimulate your senses differently, make you actually stop and think, engage with what you're seeing.
That definitely lines up with that case study brand, the one with the jarring visuals. They certainly got people talking. Maybe not all positive talk.
Probably not. But they got noticed.
They did. But how does that translate into, deeper conversations? Is it just about shock value?
Not necessarily, because often these designs ask a bit more from the viewer, right? They take more effort to process.
Okay.
When something isn't immediately simple, it makes you interpret it. You spend a bit longer trying to figure it out, decode the message.
And that extra time leads to engagement.
It can, yeah. More engagement, maybe more discussion, good or bad. It creates a more memorable interaction. And like in that case study, it can even build a kind of community around those who get the vibe.
Ah, the insider feeling.
Sort of. Plus, often there's just this underlying desire for originality. Brands wanting to break the mold, stand out by doing something genuinely different.
Okay, so potential for attention, deeper engagement, originality. But let's be real. As a marketing agency, we know the risks involved.
Oh, for sure.
What are the big challenges when you try to implement this visual chaos idea for, say, one of our clients?
Well, number one concern is usually readability. Obvious, right?
Yeah, if people can't read the message.
Exactly. If the type gets too wild, the layout too broken, you lose the actual communication. That's counterproductive for marketing.
Pointless, yeah.
Coherence is another one. The chaos needs to feel purposeful, intentional, not just like a random mess that happened by accident.
It needs a point.
It needs a point. And then, of course, you've got client comfort levels, target audience expectations, especially if you're working with, like, established brands or in more conservative markets.
Definitely have those conversations where order and control are paramount.
Right. So a visually disruptive approach might clash hard with the brand identity people already know or just alienate the audience they're trying to reach. It can feel like a pretty big leap.
So for clients who might be, let's say, chaos curious, but also quite nervous, how do you navigate that? How can you introduce some of these elements effectively without it just, falling apart?
That's where the strategy comes in. It's not about actual chaos, usually. It's about controlled chaos.
Controlled chaos, okay.
So establishing a really strong visual hierarchy is key. Even if the overall composition feels complex or busy.
Guiding the eye.
Exactly. You need to guide the viewer's eye. Use scale, use contrast, placement. Create clear focal points, anchor points within the complexity, you could say.
So there is structure, just maybe hidden or unconventional.
Precisely. And techniques like layering elements, using interesting textures, even being smart about negative space, how you use the emptiness that can all create depth and interest while still holding it together somehow.
Maintaining coherence, even with lots going on.
Yeah, it's a balancing act.
Controlled disruption.
Yeah.
I like that phrase. It's not just throwing paint at the wall.
Hopefully not.
And those articles also mentioned something about embracing the unexpected during the design process itself. How does that fit in?
Right. Sometimes the really cool breakthroughs happen when you allow for a bit of spontaneity. You don't plan every single pixel.
Letting accidents happen?
Kind of. Being open to unexpected things that pop up while you're creating. Maybe a mistake actually looks interesting. And embracing a little imperfection, that can add real character authenticity.
Make it feel more human.
Yeah, more human, more relatable, especially now when so much online feels super polished, almost sterile sometimes.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
So it sounds like exploring this visual chaos idea, if you do it thoughtfully, strategically,
Yeah.
it could be a really powerful way to innovate in design,
I think so.
pushing us beyond the usual boundaries, finding unexpected ways to solve communication problems, which of course has big implications for marketing and helping clients get noticed.
Absolutely. It's about recognizing that, yeah, in a super crowded market, sometimes the stuff that sticks is the stuff that dares to be a bit different.
Challenges conventions.
Captures your attention in ways you didn't expect. We're definitely excited to see how these ideas keep evolving and, how they can be used to make some really effective, innovative marketing materials.
Yeah, me too. It's definitely something we'll be keeping a very close eye on here at Subsign, always looking for those fresh ways to help our clients make a real impact. So for all your marketing needs, and if you're curious about exploring some innovative design solutions, definitely get in touch with Subsign today.